Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul. Hello there. Yes, if you're hearing my voice, the voice of Khilo, then you already know it's time for a new episode of Hampton Roads Voices. Oh, yes. You know, this is the show all about presenting issues and things that get you thinking and get you talking, and then also presenting solutions. Okay, so today's episode is entitled Career Connect, and we're going to do just that. We're going to get you connected to the career that you've always wanted, and, you know, for the adult. So we always think about the new graduates or the young graduates who just came out and they're looking to land their career and get into that entry-level job. But what about the adult that has been working for 10 years and, you know, they're looking to get into a second career, or they're looking to go to another company to advance their already started career and things of that nature. You know, maybe you forgot all the basics about how to find a job. This is what the show is all about today. I have special guest experts, as I always do every week. And these ladies are here to help you. Okay. So for 2 hours, they're going to be your personal career advisors, your personal career guides, and it's free of charge. So try to get it as much as you can. Okay. So I have Nancy Stevens here. She's the director of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center. I have Latonya English. She's the deputy director of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center. And I also have ShannonM. She's the founder of ShannonM Coaching and also the owner of HR Success Solutions, and she's a career coach of one of the many hats that she wears. So hello, ladies. How are you today?
Hey. Hello. Hi.
Hey, Khiara.
Yes. So I hope you guys are ready, because they are ready. And of course, it cannot be Hampton Roads without, Hampton Roads Voices without you, Hampton Roads. So I need you to call in with all your questions about how can I get my resume in tip-top shape? How can my cover letter look great? What do I need to wear for my job interview? You know, these things may be, quote unquote, basic to you or may not be basic to you, but call in and ask us anyway. 823-9110, 823-9110, all throughout the show. And we are here to help. So we'll start with Miss ShannonM. If you can tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how can you help us get a job?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me.
No worries.
I'm so happy to be here. I am a career coach, as you mentioned, so I help people not only identify the best career and job for them, but I also help people just advance their careers or even change to another career. And so that's what I do on one facet. And then my other facet is that I am an HR consultant. And so I go into companies and I help them do all types of things on the HR side.
All right. Yes. Special guest expert, y'all. All right. Nancy Stevens. Who are you? What you do? Where are you from?
Hey, Khilo. It's great to be here. We are with the Opportunity Inc. of Hampton Roads, and we're the Regional Workforce Development Board. And what we do is offer training and occupational skills upgrading, as well as job search assistance to any job seeker, whether they're employed, unemployed, or wanting to re-enter the job market. We have grant funding for certifications and licensures, and we look at the high-demand occupational fields, what is out there, what businesses are hiring, what do the businesses need, and try and not only support the businesses, but also support our local workforce.
Awesome. I love it. All right.
Hey, Khilo?
Yes, Miss Latonya.
I do want to let you know.
Oh, it's Nancy.
It's okay. I do want to let you and the listeners know that all of the services with Opportunity Inc. are free.
All right. Good to know. We like free. All right, Miss Latonya English.
Hi, I'm excited to be here. I'm the Deputy One-Stop Director at Opportunity Inc., the One-Stop Workforce Center. As Nancy said, we're the local Hampton Workforce Board in the Hampton Roads area. But specifically at the One-Stop, what we do is help adult dislocated workers for job search services. And we also have a business service component where we help employers find skilled workers or to help them look for skilled workers by having job fairs at the One Stop. So I am responsible for the overall operations there.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, you have met our special guest experts for the show today, and hopefully they're ready to meet you, okay? 823-9110, 823-9110 is the number to get your career and job search questions in. We're going to take a quick break, and then, of course, we're going to hop into the conversation about helping you find that coveted career that you've always wanted to do, okay? Keep it locked right here. It's Hot 91 Hampton Roads Voices. Hot 91, your choice for hip hop and R&B soul. Hampton Roads Voices is live right now. Oh yes, Khilo is here, and I'm here with special guest experts who are going to be here helping you with your job search. Okay, so you've been looking for a job for about 3-4 months now, might have been longer than that, and you just don't know what it is that is making employers not give you a call. What is it? Is your resume kind of messed up? Is your cover letter kind of messed up? Or you haven't even begun looking for your second career yet? All of that falls into that realm, we are here to help, okay? I have special guest experts here, ShannonM, founder of ShannonM Coaching and also owner of HR Success Solutions. I have Latonya English here. She's the Deputy Director of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center. And Nancy Stevens, she is the Director of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center as well. And we have you, Hampton Roads. Give us a call with all of your questions, 823-9110, 823-9110. And also all show long, I'm going to be asking for employers or business owners or entrepreneurs, anybody who is looking to employ someone or looking to hire. This is the platform for you to go ahead and put out that information. Okay, let's help our community. Give us a call if you are hiring. Tell us what you're looking for. Tell us how we can get more information about that particular posting. And yeah, we should be good to go. 823-9110. All right, ladies, so let's hop into this conversation. Okay, so for the job seeker that has had no luck, like I was just talking about, for an extended period of time, what should they start to reconsider regarding, if they are employable or not?
Well, I'll start, Khilo.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of times when we have job seekers come to the One Stop, they say, I've been looking for the past 6 months and I've been unsuccessful. One of the things that we always talk to them about is, let's take a look at your resume. A lot of times folks are so impressed by their resume that sometimes resistant. It's funny, we were talking to Shannon about this, about changing things from their resume, but just doing a little bit of tweaks and changing a little bit of things around. A lot of people have found that they've been successful at finding employment. There are other folks, we look at their resume, we look at the jobs that they're applying for and notice that their resume does not match what they're applying for, or that they may need a skills upgrade. And that's where an organization like Opportunity Inc. comes into play, because our services are free and we can help a participant with skills upgrade. Nancy?
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, we also ask, where have you been looking? What is your network? Do you have a network? Because any job seeker, job seeking starts at home with the people closest to you, and then it moves out from there. So somebody knows somebody who needs to hire somebody. We all know somebody who is looking for a job. So it's making those connections. Are they making the connections? Are they utilizing social media in the correct way and to the best of their ability?
Yeah, I would add to that if they know that they're meeting the outline requirements of the jobs that they're applying to, look at their resume to just find out if it's very clear and concise. When an employer has 200 resumes that come in, they don't have time to study.
Right.
And so making your resume clean, making sure that what you're communicating about yourself is clear and concise, and also just reflecting the skills of that specific job. That's so important. You don't want to list every job or every single thing that you've done from the time that you started working when you were 15 or 16, but you want to make sure that it's specific to that job. And also, don't be afraid to include volunteer experience or leadership experience that might be outside of actual jobs or employment that you've had in the past. If someone has made it to the interview level, I always tell them or ask them about their interview skills. That's so, so, so important.
Yes.
Are they able to articulate well what they bring to the table, what their skills are? Do they listen and answer the questions that they're asked during the interview clearly? I've had interviews with multiple people, and when I ask questions, sometimes they don't even address the question that I'm asking.
Just talking circles.
Exactly. And so, people want to be able to make sure that they're answering questions well and providing authentic answers and not just canned textbook answers to sound good.
Right.
And lastly, when going on interviews, I think somebody else already mentioned making sure that you're dressed for the part, but being pleasant. That goes a long, long way, being pleasant during an interview. And so those are some key things that I think people need to consider if they're having a problem finding the job that they want. And I'm in total agreement with the other speakers said previously.
Yeah. So, Latonya, you said something as far as it could be as small as tweaking your resume. Have you guys ever experienced a slight tweak of the resume and then they went from nothing, no calls to like, oh, wow, my phone is ringing?
I can give you a perfect example.
Please.
We were working with a dislocated worker. She was unemployed for about 8 months, and she would not change that resume. And I said to her, I want you to go to our resume workshop. I said, I know that you're proud of this resume. I said, but I can tell you I see some things that need to be changed. She had the skill set, so that was not the issue. It was how she was displaying her resume on paper for the employer. And she was not changing it to reflect what the employer was looking for, even though she had those skills. So she went to 2 workshops. She went to a social media workshop, and she went to the resume workshop. She changed her resume. Now, 8 months unemployed. She had 3 interviews. She got 2 job offers. She took one that was close to the income that she was making prior to being dislocated.
Wow.
She was a perfect example that she took that long to wait to just change the resume. And she was really thankful. She thanked us. She said, you were right. And I could have been employed earlier, but I didn't think about it. So we have had those.
Right. Because working adults, they've had jobs before. They've been in the workforce before. So they may be a little bit more resistant to changing their cover letter, changing their resume. This is how it worked when I got my first job. This is how it worked when I got my second job. But, things are continuously evolving. So, that's the difference between a younger
Okay, Khilo.
Okay. A younger college grad, we're soaking in information. We're like, okay, well, let me just take their word for it because they know what they're doing, as opposed to somebody who's been working for 10 years, 15 years, and then now they're, looking for a new job. So I like that she changed that one resume, and after 8 months.
Yes, that one
3
resume.
interviews. Wow. Yes. Awesome. We want to keep those phone lines ringing, 823-9110, 823-9110. If you have any job searching questions, or if you are an employer, a business owner, and you are looking to hire any type of jobs that you're looking to hire, go ahead and get that out there into the community. And 823-9110. So ladies, please share the best practices for drafting an eye-catching cover letter. Sometimes they're necessary, sometimes they're not. And speaking of that, I do have a backup question to that. But for now, give me some best practices for that eye-catching cover letter.
Well, Khilo, I'll start if you don't mind. If you're going to do a cover letter, you want it to be impeccable. It is the first thing an employer will look at if you're submitting a cover letter. Your cover letter has to be part of your branding, and you want it to address to the employer how you found out about the position and what you're applying for. What skills can you bring to the table, and how are you going to save the employer money, or how are you going to make them money? Okay. It's not a replication of your resume. Okay. It's not. You're just highlighting. So an employer who takes, as Shannon was saying, not a lot of time to read a resume, especially if you're looking at 200 and you've got to narrow it down to 10. All right. What are we talking? Maybe Shannon, 15, 20 seconds?
Exactly.
So you want something eye-catching. Make it even on the paper. Have your contact information. And no spelling errors, please. A definite turn off. I mean, I know with every time I review a cover letter or resume, if there's a spelling error and then they're telling me under their skills they have attention to detail.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So, it really is a reflection of yourself. The whole reason for your cover letter is to get the employer to want to read your resume, and also to sell yourself that, hey, I can make a difference, and my resume is going to show you how I did it. It's your interest. You know, you've got so much competition out there. You want to use every avenue you can to take that step up and be noticed.
Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely. I completely agree with what Nancy said. I would also just add in regarding contact information, have a proper email. I've seen so many emails.
No big juicy booty
Oh
at
my
Yahoo.com.
goodness. Please, they're free. They're free. So just create a proper email that is professional, that is, just in line. It can be something as simple as your name. I mean, you can get an email from anywhere. So just make sure that that's done well, because that is a reflection on you. And I think that people forget about that, especially new people who are new to the job market, new graduates and things of that sort, that everything that you send in is a reflection of you, and you want people to feel compelled. That cover letter should compel people to want to look at your resume. And if there's anything that is off-putting on the cover letter, they may or may not look at your resume.
Right. All right, so we do have a phone call. Let's go to the phone lines. Hi, 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, you're speaking to Miss Shirley.
Hi, Miss Shirley.
My question is to the head of HR, I believe.
Shannon.
I want to know, are y'all able to help with an adult that's already been working, like maybe 25 years or so, but the problem is that my concern is I have a background record that's over 32 years old, and I want to know whether or not are they able to help with someone like me that, wants to do a different career, but I don't feel like it's fair when it was a misdemeanor that I still should be getting slapped in the face, to go into medical field.
Okay. Yes, those are things that I do help people with as far as transitioning careers. And if you have some things in your past that you kind of have to overcome as far as transitioning into a certain field, we can talk a little bit about that. It's not, without knowing all the details or whatnot, it's really hard for me to give specific information, but I have helped people in the past who have had things in their history that maybe have caused employers to overlook them. And so we can work together, and I do help people with that and just career transition overall. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I appreciate that, and I'll be coming to see you soon. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Shirley. And to Miss Shirley and everybody who's listening, I'm going to put the contact information of these ladies on our Facebook page. And you already know that we're going to post this this audio on our YouTube page later on in the week, so you can catch it again. Okay. So we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to get deeper into cover letters. How specific should they be when you are applying for a job? And then it says cover letter is optional. Is it really optional? I'm going to ask all of that when we return. But I want you to give us a call, okay? If you have any job searching questions, 823-9110, or if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, and you are hiring, please call in and give us a job posting, 823-9110, 823-9110. You are tuned into Hampton Roads Voices on Hot 91. Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul. Hampton Roads Voices is live right now, and tonight's episode is entitled Career Connect. And that's exactly what we're looking to do. We're looking to connect you to that career, okay? So we tailored this particular episode to our working adults. You've been already working. You're not an entry-level type of worker. You're coming in looking for the next promotion, or you're coming in looking to further your already working career, okay? We have the answers for you. Some of the things that you probably forgot, right? Because you've been working for so long, or some new information that you may need. I have special guest experts here. Nancy Stevens, she's the director of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center. I have ShannonM. She's the founder of ShannonM Coaching. She's a career coach and also the owner of HR Success Solutions. And I also have Latonya English here. She's the deputy director of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center. And we have you. Give us a call, 823-9110, 823-9110 for any career questions or anything like that, okay? If you are a business that is hiring, please give us a call and go ahead and share what you are hiring for. And let's get our listeners employed, okay? So we do have some phone calls, so we'll get straight into it. Hi, 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Miss Smith.
Hi, Miss Smith.
Hi.
Hey, what's your question, comment, or concern?
Well, I've worked with Opportunity Inc. on and off since March, and I've had maybe one interview. I've gone to the resume workshop. I've worked with two professionals. My main problem is that I meet the requirements of the positions on Op Inc., but I don't. It'll say at the bottom you must have 2 or 3 years experience, work experience, and that's my problem. I don't have the work experience from changing into, a new career.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
I'll address that. Shannon, one of the things Shannon mentioned earlier when we were talking about resumes is volunteer experience. And what we've noticed is that a lot of our participants who do go into training and are trying to transition into a new career don't have the experience. We definitely encourage them to volunteer. And while a lot of people say, well, I need to work, but the more time you're out of work, if you could be volunteering, you're gaining that experience. And you're also catching the eye of the employer. That employer is noticing your work ethics. Are you showing up every day? And, just watching you do the job. Another thing that I tell everyone, if you did receive a training, go back to the school where you received the training, because a lot of times they have a career service center where they have particular employers that they're working with that they can connect you to. They also have classes that you can retake. There's just a lot of things that I encourage people to do, especially volunteering. If you volunteer in the field, you catch the eye of the employer, you're in an atmosphere with other people who could be your future colleagues. Shannon, what would you say on that one?
That's great advice. I would also just encourage the listener to think about skills that she already have that might be transferable. So even though you haven't necessarily done that job before, you probably have skills that are transferable that you could talk about or reference on your application or on your resume that pertain to the jobs that you're seeking. And so a lot of times, you have to sit down and be very thoughtful and see if you have any of those transferable skills. So that's something to also consider.
Okay. Let's continue these calls. Hi, 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Louise.
You said Louise?
Lee.
Okay. So, we're having technical difficulties. So after you ask your question, we're going to go ahead and hang up the phone so you can turn on your radio and hear the answers, okay?
Okay, no problem.
All righty. Go ahead and share your question, comment, or concern.
Okay, my question is, I've been in the workforce for 35 years, and I know on resumes you can delete, certain information. You'll have to, I guess, have on your resume, but how far should you go back before you delete, or exclude stuff on your resume that's not, doesn't require to be on the resume?
Thank you. How far should she go back to delete? If she's been working since, 87, I'm not saying that you're that old, but I'm saying, if you have that type of work history, how far should she go back?
Well, I think we're all very proud of each and every job we ever did. However, there is a point where we really don't need that much information. So my best advice would be no more than 10 years, unless the work was extremely relevant to exact position you're applying for. Then you may consider keeping it on. but you're looking at a 1 or 2 page resume is going to be good, targeted, and if you can get that information out in the work that you've done over the past 10 years, that's what I would recommend.
10 years, okay.
I absolutely agree. I think that, if you started off working at Hardee's and you are an executive, you obviously don't need to put that on your resume. But Nancy's right. I agree that anything that pertains to the position that you're looking for or shows some level of development on that path that's tangible and kind of meaty, include that, but don't go back 35 years.
All right. Sounds good to me. We do have one more call, right? No? Okay. Let's keep those calls coming, though. 823-9110, 823-9110. So before we went off into our break, we were talking about cover letters. All right. So it's this question that just popped in my mind as we are applying for jobs on the internet. Sometimes they say a cover letter is optional. Is it truly optional, ladies? Please tell me.
No.
So it's a trap.
You want to give the employer everything you can.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to take the chance of telling somebody to leave something out just because it's optional. It's like asking fries with your shake. Is that optional or not?
Gotcha. Well said. Well said.
And I would agree that, that might be kind of a test for the employer to see who's going to put the extra effort in to provide a cover letter. And again, your cover letter should be something that is so compelling, written in a compelling way where people are not only intrigued by what you put in the cover letter, but they want to know more about what's on your resume.
Exactly. And I was going to say the same thing. Your cover letter is your introduction to your resume.
Absolutely.
And so you definitely want to provide that cover letter.
So it's not optional, okay, young people? Because I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I'm applying for 5 to 6 jobs and it's just the same thing, they ask you to put your resume in there, you did. Then they ask you to type in every single job that you had and all that stuff like that. When I'm on my 7th one, sometimes I'm like, all right, it's optional, so I'm going to leave that out. But I'm not going to do that anymore.
That's right.
I'm going to have the fries with the shake. That's right. We do have a call. Let's get to our phone lines. Hi, 921, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Yes, this is Tawana.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great, ladies. How you all doing?
Good,
Fine. How are you, Tawana?
That's great.
What's your question, comment, or concern?
I don't know if you all have already addressed this question or not because I just tuned in.
Go ahead, girl. It doesn't matter.
However, I would like to know when you're writing a cover letter, and when should you change the cover letter up as far as the wording? What may apply for one job, how do you tweak it to make it work for another position? That's my first question.
Tawana, this is Nancy. It's a great
if
question.
That makes any sense.
Hold on.
It makes a lot of sense, and it's a really good question.
Hold on, Nancy. Can you hear her, Tawana?
No.
Okay. So what we're going to do is if you can hang up for me and then turn on your radio. We're having technical difficulties.
Okay.
So that you can hear her answer, okay? And if you have any other questions, just call us right back, okay? We're going to fix it.
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Nancy.
Now I lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. When can she change the cover letter?
I think each time you write a cover letter, you need to take the time to know the company you're submitting your application to. And that is how you're going to tailor your cover letter. Each company or business has their individual needs. It could be a large need, a small need, but they all have some sort of need. And that's why they're advertising for the position. So take that little bit of time and tailor your cover letter just like you would your resume to that particular employer. And if you know the name of the employer, address the cover letter to them directly, to the hiring manager if you know the name. If you don't know the name, the last thing you want to do is to put to whom it may concern. Okay, at least be the most respectful thing, I think, if you don't have a point of contact, is going to be, dear hiring manager.
And to piggyback off of what Nancy said, once again, remember, your cover letter is your introduction to your resume. You want the employee to know how you heard about the position. And definitely in that cover letter, you're telling them about your qualifications for that position. And then you want to be able to say something unique about yourself that makes you good for the employer. How are you going to benefit that employer? That will not be across the board for every job.
Exactly.
Because the positions are going to be different. So you definitely want to take the time and do a cover letter for each one of those employers.
Gotcha. Absolutely. And I would just say that, if you are using or writing a generic cover letter, employers know that immediately.
Yes, they do.
They know that immediately. And so the amount of effort that you put into something, employers will be able to sniff that out immediately. And again, the person that stands out the most by making sure that they're putting effort, thought, and consideration pertaining to the job that they are seeking will get the most attention. And it'll be evident just right off the bat. And so if you're not going to put any attention in your cover letter, you can't expect to get a whole bunch of hits and a whole bunch of responses, just because of that.
Makes sense.
And Khilo, just a little tidbit for the listeners as far as cover letters. When Latonya was saying, let the employer know where you found about the position, if you found about it on their website, don't you think they're going to say, hey, this person really has some interest. They've already gone to our website. And go to their website and get some information about the company so when you get that call for the interview, you can talk about the company and know what they do and know what they're proud of and what is their community involvement.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to share this story because I think it's for the betterment of everybody else, okay? I want everybody else to win. Don't do what Khilo did. So I had an interview, a little phone interview, and, it was my intention to look up the business in more detail and do my research and things of that nature. But excuses, I was busy. So she called me, I did my interview, and she did ask me some questions about the business. And, I tried to finesse it and I tried to Google it really quick while I was on the phone, and she just picked up on the baloney. And I always told myself I would never do that again. I will take at least 30 minutes out to do some research about this company, even before I even apply, to really, know who I'm applying to, because I didn't sound too good, but, so. Don't be like Khilo in that regard, okay? So we're going to continue this conversation about job searching, about getting you that job that you want, tightening up that resume, getting that cover letter good to go, interviewing, everything that falls into job searching. We are taking care of it right here on Hampton Roads Voices. We're going to figure out our phone situation, but that does not mean that we don't want you calling. Give us a call, 823-9110, 823-9110. I haven't heard from any employers yet who are looking to hire, and I know that somebody's looking for some type of position out there. So if you are looking to hire, go ahead and give us a call and get that out there so we can get our listeners employed. 823-9110, 823-9110. Make sure you keep it locked right here. It's Hampton Roads Voices on Hot 91. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not those of Norfolk State University or WNSB-FM. Thank you for listening. That's right. Thank you for listening. Hot 91, your choice for hip hop and R&B soul. Hampton Roads Voices is live right now, and we are talking about Career Connect. That is what today's episode is all about, okay? We're going to get you connected to that career that you need, all right? So we want those who are hiring, business owners, entrepreneurs. If you are hiring, if you're looking for to hire employees and potential employees, please give us a call and let us know. 823-9110, 823-9110. Let's get those in our community employed. All right. I have special guest experts here. ShannonM. She's the founder of ShannonM Coaching. She's a career coach and also the owner of HR Success Solutions, and also deputy, I'm tripping, Latonya English. She's the deputy director of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center. And I also have Nancy Stevens here. She's the director of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center. Okay. So not only do I want business owners to call about, their job postings, but I also want the people who are looking for a job to call in, okay? You have some questions. You need help. You want to know why you're not getting hired. We are here to help you. 823-9110, 823-9110. And we did have a call from somebody from Lids to let us know that somebody was hiring, okay? So if you are looking for a job, please listen up. Retail sales is available at Lids. You can log on to www.lids.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom, click on career opportunities, and they have more than a couple of positions available, from assistant manager to a full-time manager to a sales associate, things of that nature. Okay, lids.com, lids.com. All right, let's dive right back into this this conversation. All right, so resume building. What are some really good resume building tips for the working adult who has had a work experience? Now, I know we've been talking about it all show, but let's really, get more specific. Should our resume be specific to each job posting as well? You guys been saying yes all show, but what are some resume building tips for the working professional? You can go ahead and start, Shannon, if you like.
Excuse me. Some resume building tips for the working professional. Again, I cannot overstress having a clear and concise resume is really great. If you are already a working professional, that means that you probably have a lot of experience. I say concise because I've seen a lot of people who have resumes that are 3 and 4 pages long. And that would probably not be concise.
Okay. Maybe not.
Maybe not. So I say, I tell people, keep the meat in, the things that really matter. Again, if you have experience all the way back, from when you were in high school or whatnot, or jobs that don't specifically pertain to that job that you're seeking or going after, then leave all that off. You want your resume to shine. And so the meaty stuff that actually pertains to the job that you're seeking is what you want to make sure that you're including. Make sure it's clean. I've received resumes in the past with, what is that called? Like WordPress word art, and other things. Keep that off. Okay. Unless you're in animation, keep it off of your resume. Just remember that your resume is a representation of everything that you are. And so you want it to shine. And you really want to make sure that whatever you're presenting is differentiating yourself from every other candidate. And so if you're already in the working field and you're looking to, develop yourself, or you want to take it to the next level, you want to be able to present that you are pretty much already at the next level in what you're presenting on your resume. Okay. So that's a tip that I
like that.
I think that I agree with Shannon totally. The other thing I would recommend, especially for those that are already in the workforce, is you need to have a branding statement on your resume.
A branding statement.
Yeah, your branding statement is basically communicates the essence of who you are at work. All right? Are you a go-getter? Are you an excellent communicator? Are you productive? What sells you? And why are you marketable? What's going to make an employer, think about a box of cereal. All right? There's hundreds of them on the shelves. Which one has the best marketing? Which one are we drawn to? Maybe not the one we like the most, but we're just drawn to it because everybody tells us this branding statement's going through our head. All right, the breakfast of champions, the breakfast of champions. What's your breakfast for your champion? What is your branding statement? And how can you get an employer to remember you?
I like that too. Okay. You want to piggyback, Ms. Latonya, or she got it? Everybody got it.
Well, they got it, but I would also just say, as Shannon and Nancy said, just making sure that even if you're a working adult, the jobs that you're applying for, making sure your resume reflects what the employer wants. You can have all the skill sets and all the experience, but if your resume doesn't reflect what the employer wants for the job that you're looking for, then the resume will not work.
Absolutely.
The resume won't work, and we need that resume working. Okay. All right. So, what are applicant tracking systems, and how can we be picked up by those tracking systems?
I'll jump in on that. The applicant tracking system is just, it's an electronic system that recruiters and some employers use to really look for keywords within the resume. Because if they're receiving 500 resumes, and I'm just going on a large range, they're not going to look at 500 resumes. So they're going to be, that tracking system allows them to pull out a few of the resumes that have the keywords that they're looking for in the job description in which they posted. And all of this goes back to the resume. You said, how can you get past the applicant tracking system? One of the things we tell our participants is go to, there's a website called Tag Crowd, where you can copy and paste a job description, and it pops up the most used words in that job description. Then we tell them, copy and paste your resume. And when it pops up, if you don't see any of those words that popped up for that job description, you may want to change that resume, because those words that are popping up are the same words that that applicant tracking system are looking for, those key words that an employer is looking for to know that you have those skills, those qualifications, and those abilities to do the job in which they're looking for.
What's that website again?
Tagcrowd.com.
Tagcrowd.com. Okay. Anybody want to add about the tracking applicant systems? Okay. Chris, do we have a posting? So somebody just called to let us know, and he just my intern just let us know about a particular job posting. Antoine Gibson just called and let us know that New York Life Insurance in Norfolk is hiring. They're hiring financial services professionals. You don't need any experience, but they would prefer a degree. And you will be working with insurance and retirements and investments and things of that nature. Go ahead and send your cover letter and resume. Get it good first, and then send it over to agibson02@ft.newyorklife.com. I'm going to go ahead and put that on our Facebook page. So if you didn't get it, that's okay. But I'm going to say it again and then go ahead and put it on our Facebook. agibson02@ft.newyorklife.com. And I don't know if he wants his phone number. Okay. Give him a call, 757-638-1843. 638-1843. And that is for financial services professionals. All right. Okay, keeping the conversation going. So, according to an article that I read on Forbes.com, the author advised job seekers to refrain from always following their passions. Can you explain why would he say that, and do you agree?
Well, I think the thing is, this is Shannon. Sorry to jump in, but you have to be realistic. You really do. You have to have a balanced view of how practical your passion is. Some people have passions that are like really pie in the sky type of passion. And listen, we all have to make money. We have to live. And so if your passion or your vision is just kind of, out of the perspective of practical jobs that are out there, you might need to just hone it in a little bit. You might need to be flexible and adjust it. I don't say throw out your passion altogether, but try to integrate it into what jobs might be out there and try to find your passion in a job.
Right.
Nobody 100% loves any job. I mean, there's always going to be tasks about whatever you do that you're really not going to like. And so if you can find something that kind of mirrors a bit of your passion, then, that's what I would say.
Yeah, make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Jinx.
Okay. Listen, it's Shannon. That was great. Yeah, I agree. Don't throw your passion out completely, but keep that realistic. And there's some good assessments you can do. For instance, on the Virginia Workforce Connect, you can do a work interest assessment and personality assessments, and then it correlates that information similar to the way John Holland does in his self-directed searches. But it correlates it into different occupational fields that other individuals who scored similarly to you on the exams or tests went into and did well. They found their passion. And you might even think of occupations, especially if you're reentering the workforce. I recommend it because you might find an occupation that you never thought of. Right. But you've got the background, you've got the skills, and you had no idea that you could utilize those in that way. And guess what? You just found your new passion.
Just like that.
And what I was going to say, when Shannon was saying, and Nancy, about not throwing away, one of the things I always laugh about is I love to take pictures. But I know there are some magnificent photographers out there. And that passion is very expensive because you have to get these expensive cameras, you have to get other equipment, the lenses, they all cost. So don't throw it away, but hone it into a job that is going to bring you income at the time, and you can slowly work on that passion to the side. They have this saying, anything worth having is worth working hard for. And a lot of time your passion, you have to work a little harder than you would just go to apply for a job.
Right.
So they just have to remember that. And that's why I do agree, not to throw it out, but to remember your passion may take more time and money to accomplish.
And your passion may not fall in line with working for someone else.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So as you're sitting at that 9 to 5 that, you're really not that passionate about, you could be working on your side business that is photography, or it is cooking and being a chef, or, music lessons or what have you. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? We want to get those phone calls coming in. Do you have any questions about how can I land the perfect job interview? How can I leave with them saying, hey, I want to hire that guy. I want to hire that girl. How can I get my resume in tip-top shape? Give us a call, 823-9110, 823-9110. Or if you are hiring, go ahead and give us a call and get on air. I want to hear your voice. If you're on the phone right now, make sure you are holding for me. As soon as we get back, I'm going to put you right back on the air, okay? It is Hampton Rose Voices Career Connect on Hot 91. Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul. Yes, Hampton Rose Voices is live right now, and our conversation is entitled Career Connect. We're getting you that career that you always wanted, how to really get that job interview that you really need, how to get that resume in tip-top shape, that cover letter to die for, all of that, okay? So we have special guest experts on the show today. Nancy Stevens, she's the director of Opportunity Inc., One Stop Workforce Center. We have Latonya English, she's the deputy director, say that 3 times fast, of Opportunity Inc. One Stop Workforce Center. And ShannonM, she's the founder of ShannonM Coaching and the owner of HR Success Solutions. And one of her many hats is career coaching, okay? So we've been talking all show long about how to get that resume right, that cover letter right. But once we get to that job interview, let's get into job interviewing. We still have a phone call? Okay, let's get to the phone lines. Hi, 91, you're live in the air. Who am I speaking with?
This is Lakeisha.
Hey, Akeisha.
How you all doing today?
We're doing great. I love your energy.
Yes.
Thank you.
What's your question, comment, or concern?
My question is, how do you combat a company bringing you on board only to turn around and let you go due to a misdemeanor on your background check?
Anybody want to hop in?
It depends on the position. And hopefully the employer made it clear up front that, everything is contingent upon a background check. It's very unfortunate. However, if there's a chance for you to explain it to the employer and what has happened since then, and if that can make a difference, I would like for you to do that.
I have, actually.
And did they let you know prior to that there would be a background conducted?
No, what happened was both of the companies were call center companies, and I passed the interview with flying colors, and I even disclosed what my charges were and would that affect me prior to even applying. and they assured me that it would not, because I did bring it to their attention, and it was so old, a long time ago.
Really?
But I believe it was due to the nature of the misdemeanor. It wasn't theft or anything like that. However, I still didn't understand, how do you hire me knowing that I was upfront and honest on my application, I disclosed it in the interview, to turn around and get the job, excuse me, and then let go.
Well,
that's very hurtful. Like, it's very hurtful.
Yeah, and I just want to say, we have had that situation where that has happened to some of the customers that come in. But one of the things that we found out later is that the folks that are hiring you, they aren't sure if, that will go against you. But once your record is pulled, it's up to their company, their organization on a higher level to determine whether or not they want to keep you, because it could be against their company policy, a liability because they do have insurance. It could be a number of things. And as you said, even the nature, because depending on the type of work that you were doing with the call center, whatever the nature of the misdemeanor, there may be personal information. There are a lot of things. But remember, the folks who are hiring you sometimes do not know what the corporate office is going to determine until that background check comes back, because they like you, you explain everything, they submit it, and they wait for it to come back. And it is unfortunate, but that is the case sometimes.
And just to jump in, that is so, so true. There have been jobs that I have had in the past working in leadership in corporate America, in their HR departments, and the hiring managers, they're interviewing the people, and they're looking at what's on their application. But in certain industries, there are what we call barrier crimes. Mm-hmm. And those barrier crimes, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. It doesn't matter, any of the circumstances around it. If a barrier crime pops up, you have to release that person, and you cannot move forward with that person. And of course, I don't know if this is the case with that, but I can absolutely agree that, sometimes hiring managers really don't know the specifics as to what is acceptable and what is absolutely unacceptable for the company. And it can get very involved, because when you're dealing with certain crimes, there are actually numeric values associated to that crimes. And so some companies have lists of those numbers associated with the crimes. And any of those numbers that are associated with those crimes, those people cannot be hired. And again, like it was said before, it's very unfortunate, but hiring managers don't always have that at their fingertips. That's something that, typically HR departments have, HR leaders within the department might have. It's just not public information.
So do you think for Lakeisha, she should, maybe when she's interviewing, even though there is a risk that it may damage her chances of getting the job, but should she just say it, up front, hey, I have this, it happened, of course I'm not doing it anymore, blah, blah, blah. Should she say that?
I would recommend that she would not just talk to the hiring manager, but tell the hiring manager that she does have a history, and if she can talk to somebody in HR to find out if that is a barrier crime. Okay. That would be a good place to start as well, if that's something that, everything looks good as far as all the other parts that, with her moving forward in that job. Right.
Well, thank you so much for answering my question. And I actually did that. I actually sent letters to the headquarters, to some of the companies that hired me, and so their response was still sorry. Even I sent character letters of people who've known me over the years, even before the incident, and they still did not accept it. So, but thank you so much for for the advice and the suggestion. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Lakeisha.
Sure.
Good
You're
luck in your
welcome.
search.
Good luck, Lakeisha.
And I want to keep those phone lines ringing, okay, with questions just like that. That was a really good question. 823-9110, 823-9110. Or if you are an employer and you're looking to hire, get on this phone and get your job posting out there. Let's try to get those in our community and our listening audience employed, okay? 823-9110, 823-9110. Job interviews. Okay, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I want you to give me if you only had to give me 3 of your best job interview tips, what would it be? Go.
Be on time.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Be on time. Dress properly. And please research the company or the organization in which you plan to interview for the job.
Please, y'all.
Yeah.
Take her from Khilo, okay? Alrighty, Nancy, you want to go next?
Yeah, those are all good ones. I agree with Latonya. One of my biggest tips, I think, would be to remember from the moment you pull into the parking lot or get on company property, you're on an interview.
Absolutely.
I had a neighbor who was going on an interview. He got there a little bit early, so he was, waiting outside, walking through the parking lot, and he noticed somebody there who had a flat tire and was trying to get the jack set up. We're having a little bit of difficulty. He stopped in his interview suit, took his jacket off, and did help him. Got thanked and went back in. He actually helped the manager.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And, the manager was very appreciative, and to say the least, he did get a job offer. So
Okay.
you are always on an interview.
Absolutely.
My other biggest pet peeve is because when I was one, I wanted respect. I always gave respect. Any receptionist is the eyes and ears of that company. And you better treat that person with the utmost respect. Be courteous. Give that person the time of day,
Yeah.
just like you would anybody else.
Absolutely.
I like that. 3 tips, Shannon.
Yep. My 3 have already been mentioned.
Okay.
Because being on time is just number 1 across the top. That shows how reliable you are, and if you're not on time for the interview, then that just looks bad all the way around. Always, 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 the receptionist is a valuable employee just like everyone else. And I have found out in the past when I was interviewing people, I would ask everybody who they interacted with, how did they treat you? And there were certain people who interviewed very well, came from awesome schools, had all the experience. But one guy in particular, he was very disrespectful to the receptionist.
Oh.
He was flippant. He was demeaning.
Wow.
And just wasn't respectful in general. And so he was off the list immediately. The last thing is that, when you go to an interview, be pleasant just in general. Bring a positive presence with you. And I know that, it can be nerve-wracking and you're nervous and, you might be sweating or whatever else. But bringing that positive energy is so key because people want to work with people who they like.
Yes.
And if you come in and you have a negative attitude or you badmouth your previous employer or boss, I mean, that is a huge no-no.
It sure
Never,
is.
ever, ever. I don't care if they were the devil themselves. Do not badmouth your previous employer because it really makes you look bad.
Yeah.
And so you want to just bring that positive energy. You want to show that you can be someone that they will want to work with. I mean, people know that nowadays you spend more time at your job than you do with your own family at home, and your own personal life so many times. And so you want to work with people who are pleasant, who are kind, who are going to be easy to work with, who are going to bring a positive vibe. So those are my 3 or 4, I don't know.
Yeah, and Khilo,
Yes.
like Shannon was saying, you always want to be positive. I mean, even if you had the worst boss in the whole world, all right, turn it around. Turn it around. When they say, what did you learn from your last employer? I learned how to be a great manager. not not because of doing opposite of what they did, but I learned how to be a great manager and how to manage people.
That's good.
The other thing is, please, people, please, if you take anything, take this. Leave your cell phone locked in your vehicle.
Yeah.
We were interviewing, and don't you know the phone went off not once,
Oh,
not
man.
twice,
3 times.
3
Oh,
times
no.
the phone went off.
3 times.
3
Right.
times.
And in our mind, the interview was over.
It was
Right.
over. Couldn't go any further. It was done. It was done.
Even when it's on vibrate, you know, when it's in your
turn
purse
it, don't
and
bring
it's,
it in.
you know, yeah.
Just leave it in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Leave it in
Yeah.
the vehicle, please. Also, don't go to an interview and not have questions for the interviewers.
Yeah.
Please. Come on. I want to see that you're interested. Do you have questions? What excites you? Why do you want to work here? You know?
How many questions, if you had like a perfect number, how many questions should I go in there with? I don't want to be too inquisitive, and you know, I want to show that I'm interested. What about 3 or 5 or?
Yeah, 3 to 5. I mean, a lot of your questions will be answered probably during the interview.
Right.
But
That's
still,
right.
have some questions to ask. You know, have some questions to ask the employer. Don't, you know, often I hear as well, you know, well, all my questions were answers. No, I don't really have any. You know, or don't ask me, you know, what are the hours? What's the holidays? How much leave am I
I
gonna
need
get?
to know. Okay, how many sick days do I get? And we do have a phone call. Let's go to our lines. Hi, 91. You're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Yes, Mr. Evans.
Hey, Mr. Evans. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. What's your comment, question, or concern?
Okay, question. I was working for a corporation, and I've been working for almost a year. And 29 days before my 1 year came up for paid vacation, they said that they were going to let me go, but it didn't have anything to do with my work performance or any incidents or accidents that I had. Just they was moving forward doing something different. I'm a Class B truck driver, and they said they wanted a Class A, and they will hire a person with a Class A license that could move equipment. Okay, doing my investigation of this, I found out that they hired a gentleman, a Caucasian, with the same license that I had. They offered to train him so he can get his Class A, and they, when they told me that, I spoke on that, well, y'all can do that with me. And I said, I've been here this long, but that wasn't an issue. Now, all of a sudden, it's an issue. Now you want to hire a Class A, somebody that can back up the low boy, but now you didn't hire a Class B person, Caucasian, and you're going to teach him or you're going to train him to do it. I feel that I've been discriminated against because they hired someone in the same class that I have, a Class B, and Caucasian, and it's not African American, but a Caucasian, and they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt to train him, what they could have done that to me. So I feel that I'm being discriminated against, and I'd like to know how can I go forward with this.
Mr. Evans, this is Nancy. Mr. Evans, have you contacted the your local employment commission?
I have went and filed unemployment, but I have not been able to talk to anyone at this point.
Okay. We have employment representatives that are at the one stop that you can talk to face to face. If you ever want to come by during the week, they're there usually from 9 to 4. But the other thing is there is Equal Opportunity Office in downtown Norfolk. You can call them, and they will return your call with an appointment. You won't get an immediate appointment, but you can call them as well as and get that appointment to share your concerns. It's a tough situation you're in. Virginia is a right to work state,
Yes.
so we can be fired or quit, at the drop of the hat for no questions asked. However, if you're crossing the line on anything that has to do with equal opportunity.
This is how I feel because when I worked on Monday and was off Tuesday. When I came back to work Wednesday, I had a meeting with the guys. I didn't get laid off by the person that hired me, which was the owner, and I didn't have any idea that this was coming forward. It just sprung on me just like that when I returned back to work. and then to investigate, to have an employee that's African American that works in the office to tell me, and I know somebody that knows the person that they hired, which is Caucasian. He has the same qualification that I have. They sit in a meeting room, the owner of the company, the vice president, and the CEO, and sit there and lie to me in front of my face that they hired a Class A driver that could back up the lowboy driver that they needed at that time, and come find out that the person that they hired is a Class B driver just like me and doesn't have any experience or doesn't have the license for Class A.
Yeah, you're in a really tough situation, so I would really, highly recommend that you do contact the Employment Commission, speak with somebody as well as the Equal Opportunity Commission. The other thing, on an up note, Mr. Evans, if you want to find an up note in your situation, you're probably better off not working for a company like that. And you can work for a company where you're going to be appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, I speak from reference. I understand that, but I mean, for this to happen, I mean, and the way they did it, and then for them to bring somebody in with the same class name, but not an African American person, you know what I'm saying? And they had the same qualifications to me, and then for them to lie to me in my face is another thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand, Mr. Evans.
And I do understand that this is the right. I know Virginia is the right to let you go, or no questions asked. I do know the right to work state. I understand that, but I feel that I've been discriminated. Oh, and the second thing, I have gotten a badge. It's called a Rabbit Gate Pass. I cannot find it. I think it was lost. So they call themselves giving me a 2 weeks. They call themselves giving me a 2 weeks annual pay. But they holding that because I haven't returned in my badge.
I believe that Rapid Gate badge is
government. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's a government issued ID.
Right.
And so, because it is government issued, I know that there are some security issues around that.
Yes.
I don't know the full ramifications regarding that, but have you?
If it's lost or stolen, what do I do? Do I have to go back to the original place where I got it and have them cancel it, or give me some kind of form saying it's been discharged or whatever?
I would start there because, quite frankly, those passes, they can typically track whether or not you've been in and out of those locations. And once they see that you haven't, it should be easily rectified. But that might be why it's being held, because I know we used to process those at one of the places that I worked. And so I'm familiar with the pass. So that's where I would start.
Okay. And did you have a number for them? Was the number you asked me, you told me about earlier?
For the Rapid Gate or for?
No.
Oh, the EEO.
EEO, yeah.
I don't have a number off the top of my head, though. But perhaps Khilo can Google it and put it up on the Facebook page.
Yes. Perfect. So we're going to do that. Just keep listening, Mr. Evans. I want to go ahead and get that number for you. Actually, I have a number now. The Norfolk. What city did you work in?
I live in Newport News, Hampton.
Oh, okay. So let's see here really quick. See what we can see. We're helping people live on the air. Right here, live on the air. So I'm going to give you this particular number. It is a local number for the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 1-800-669-4000.
1-800
669
4000. Okay, yes,
sir. Okay, so I'm sorry that happened to you, but best of luck as you continue in your career.
Yes, I'm picking up and moving on, but it's just that was a bad taste stuff in my mouth, and then I think that for you to tell me that in front of me and just lie, and then turn around and hire a person that's not African American and has the same qualification that I have, and then you're going to tell him that you're going to train him to do the job. You could have done that with me. You could have had time to train me and let me get that opportunity, but you didn't do that. You just kicked me to the curb.
Yes, sir. All righty. Well, you have a good day. A good rest of your day. No problem, Mr. Evans. Have a good
Y'all
one.
have a blessed day, too. Thank you.
You
very much.
too.
God bless you. All right.
So when we return, we're going to get more into job interviews. I'm going to ask them a little bit about how we can help social media, how social media can hurt us. And we're going to, I'm going to ask them one unconventional tidbit about job searching. Okay. So make sure you keep it locked right here. This episode is called Career Connect, and you're listening to Hot 91, Hampton Roads Voices. Hot 91, your choice for hip hop and R&B soul. We are in the home stretch here of our episode entitled Career Connect, Hampton Roads Voices. Yes. And we are trying to get you employable. Okay. So, just a reminder that this entire episode will be on our YouTube channel. So if you missed the middle of it, you missed the beginning of it, you can go back and get all the tips that you need and go ahead and get that job, girl. Okay. So we were talking about, job interviews. Oh, and we're still taking calls. Okay. 823-9110, 823-9110. If you have a question about, anything job related, or if you are an employer, you're looking to hire and you want to go ahead and get your job posting out there, please give us a call, 823-9110, and get that job posting out there. Okay, so just really quick, I had a question as we were talking. Are there any particular colors that we should avoid when we are getting dressed for our interviews? Any colors, or that's just a myth?
Well, I would say that you cannot go wrong if you are conservative.
Okay.
Okay. I tell people it's best to keep big jewelry at a minimum.
Yes.
Save that for your fun days and your fun times, not for the interview. But you can't go wrong when you go conservative. The main thing I would say is make sure that you look clean, neat. You don't have to look like you're on the front of a fashion magazine, but be professional, and look clean and neat and appropriate for that specific job that you're going after. Mm-hmm. So if you're more in a corporate setting, you want to make sure that you probably wear a suit, navy, gray, black, things of that sort. If it's less of a corporate setting, you can wear khakis, you can
a polo maybe.
Mm-hmm, yeah, something that is appropriate for that. So it really depends on the job, but conservative colors you can't go wrong with.
Yeah, you want to be safe. Yeah. Okay, because the yellows, maybe the reds, perhaps, maybe not. Okay. What's another job interview question I had? Oh, yes. Body language. How important is body language in an interview for both the interviewer and the interviewee?
This is Latonya. Body language is very important in an interview. Nancy and I, we do most of the interviews at the One Stop. And one of the things that amazes me is when people come in, they have their sunglasses on top of their head, and they're laying back like we're friends.
Oh, man. Like y'all homies from way back in the day.
Yes. You want to come into... You want to be comfortable when you come to an interview. And what I mean by comfortable, not all relaxed, laying back, but having an air of confidence about yourself, but not so relaxed where you look like you didn't take time to really want to interview for the job. You're just kind of coming to see what's happening here. Body language tells a lot. If you're not looking at me when I'm asking you a question, it makes me feel uncomfortable, and I'm interviewing you to work in our environment. And as Nancy said, your interview starts when you come in the building. So we want to make sure that you can be a part of the environment in which we work in, because we know our team. Will you fit with our team? So you want to make sure you come in, you greet the employees who are interviewing you. You want to make great eye contact when they're asking you questions. You want to be laid back. You don't want your sunglasses on your head. Nancy, any other things you can think of? We've had a lot, so.
Yeah. Remember it's an interview, so I don't want y'all rigid, but just remember it's an interview. I'm thinking to myself, am I going to get along with you on my worst day? Okay. And I really wouldn't be too worried about what the interviewers are doing, because guess what? They have jobs.
Okay.
So I would not care less about what they're doing. They could be writing, they could be taking notes, they could be playing on their phone. I'm still there interviewing, and I'm still trying to get a job.
Okay, I like that. Shannon, want to add anything?
Sure. Again, I can't stress enough the positive presence part of it.
Yes.
Remember, just like was already said, you're on an interview. So a level of professionalism is expected.
Yes.
Just off the bat, you are on an interview. You are asking them to give you an opportunity. The great thing about interviews is that if you were one of the few requested to come in for an interview, you've pretty much already met that first level. And so that's a good thing, because on paper, initially, you have already met most of the qualifications. What was just previously said is that now you're at the point where they want to find out who's going to be the best match for their environment, who's going to best work with the team that's already in place. And so it's great to be confident. You want to be confident when you come in, but just don't get cocky.
Okay.
Nobody wants to work with somebody who's cocky and know-it-all, somebody who's got all the answers. So you want to definitely exude that professionalism, that confidence, but don't let it get the best of you. Don't get cocky.
Right, right.
Yeah. Another thing I would add is, when you're on an interview, it's a conversation between you and employer. So when you're asked a question, answer the question. Give them examples. Yes. And you don't have to go on and on and on and on where I have to cut you off and say, okay. But don't just say, yep, okay, yes, I can do that. Give examples. How did you make a difference? Again, you're selling yourself. With your confidence, sell yourself.
Sounds good. Our one last call for the show. Let's go to our phone lines. Hot 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
This is Trina.
Hey, Trina, could you turn down your radio just a tidbit, please?
Okay.
What's your question, comment, or concern?
Okay, I have a concern and I guess like advice also.
Okay.
I was working for a company up until maybe 2 weeks ago, and I had been with them for like 7 months, and then I was terminated because they found out that I was transgender. So it's like, what do I do now? Like when they found out that I was originally, born as a male, but when they hired me, even my ID still says it is female, but they found out. So like, what do I do now? Do I have any maybe comments or advice about that?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry that happened.
Yes. Oh, me too.
Gina, is that the reason they gave you for letting you go?
No. The person who, we have different departments, and my particular manager did not go into detail as to why. I just heard from other employees as that was the reason why.
And
they just told me, the hours are going to be cut. So what you can do is come back what did she say, around September or not September, around October, November, when we restart our hiring process. We're just going to lay a couple of people off and then allow you to come back. And to me, that just didn't make sense. Then I found out from other employees that was the initial reason.
So it was a rumor.
You think so?
Yeah, it could very well be. It could very, very well be. I know with our organization, it's a 6-month probationary period.
Okay.
And, so we don't even recommend somebody full-time permanent until they hit their 6 months. And it can be up till the day before my 6 month that my employer can let me go with no reason. And then other people, they can think of things in their head or colleagues as to why I was let go. But really, the employer, that's our organization. It might not be the same as where you were formerly employed. But, yeah, that's a really tough situation.
It is tricky.
Yeah. y'all, do you know of any type of, like, anywhere I could possibly call, or should I just get in contact with the company and talk with them about it? Or because then I don't have any proof. It's just, once again, should I bring other employees' names into it as to try to straighten it out? Or
well, if you open with something, you might want to just go ahead and ask your question to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
Okay.
And they would be the best to give you advice.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, and I would just say be careful about mentioning other employees because you could put them at risk, or you could create a scenario for them that would be unpleasant. I don't know if they told you in confidence, but if they did tell you in confidence, or if they did share whatever they might know or might not know, I don't know. You just want to be thoughtful about that.
Right. I understand. That's true. That's true.
Well, again, Trina, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
No worries, Trina.
Good luck, Trina.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
So we did have a caller in response to our caller before Trina, Mr. Evans, and anybody who feels as though that they may have been discriminated against in the workplace, they can contact the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and you can actually file a complaint or file a charge, if you will, online by going to I believe that's what it is. Sorry. We're going to get it together. Okay, yes, www.eeoc.gov. eeoc.gov. Putting that on our Facebook page. And also, this is a local number that was called in by Natasha. She said the number is 757-545-2414, 545-2414, extension 230. Putting that on our Facebook page as well. Okay. So, do you ladies have anything that is coming up for Opportunity Inc. or coming up for ShannonM coaching or anything like that could really benefit our listeners?
We do. We've got some events that we're attending and that we're coming up in the near future. If you're a veteran or a military spouse or a transitioning service member, you may want to contact the Regional Transition Assistance Program about the military hiring event that you need to pre-register for. It's not a job fair, it's a hiring event where your skills from your profile will be matched to the employers that are signed up. Right now there are 64 employers with over 183 positions available. There's an autumn job fair that's going to be on Thursday, September 21st through the City of Norfolk at their Workforce Development Center. And our Youth Entrepreneurship Summit is going to be Wednesday, October 18th at Tidewater Community College, Virginia Beach campus. If you want more information, just go to our website at www.opp-inc.org.
Sounds good.
And right now, I don't have anything scheduled. I do have workshops with different employers and groups sometimes. So if you all want to visit my page regularly, you'll be able to see any updates as things are scheduled for me.
Perfect. And I have all their contact information on our Facebook page right now. So go ahead and log on to our Facebook, WNSB Hot 91.1 FM, to get in contact with them and get those websites about what Nancy just shared with us and what Shannon has coming up. Okay. Also, don't forget, our YouTube channel is up. We need subscribers. Subscribe. I know you love the show. You show us each and every week. So I need you to like the show on YouTube. Okay. So go ahead and check those episodes out, digest them again, because, sometimes they can be kind of heavy with information. And like I said, subscribe. All right. This show is going to air again this coming Sunday at noon. So make sure you check that out. And we will see you next week for a new episode of Hampton Roads Voices. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's get working, Hampton Roads.
Yes. And thank you, Hampton Roads. Have a great one. It's hot.